Good Sunday evening, and thanks for staying up late with us tonight. I'm Brooke Buckner. The 13th annual Arkansas Run for the Fallen took place this weekend to honor those who lost their lives in service. THV 11's Maya Ellison was out alongside the runners this afternoon to learn more about the special message behind the event and gives us a closer look.
It was absolutely beautiful to see the tributes and respects paid to Arkansas service members. They've been doing this since 2012, and as families tell me, it means the most to them each and every year.
My son, what a man. I mean, I always say this to people, that he was a light in any room. People were just drawn to him. A heart bigger than the sun.
Gold Star mother Kelly Barnett always keeps her son Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover's memory alive. But with Arkansas Run for the Fallen, others will get to know his light too.
Taylor will always be remembered, especially here in Arkansas. He will be remembered. Here they come.
It's a 3-day, 155-mile run in honor of those who lost their lives while serving on active duty since 9/11. Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover was one of them.
This last phone conversation when I was able to speak with him, just him telling me how much he loved me telling him how much I loved him and how proud I was of him, and that I wanted him to get home safe.
At each mile, the names and descriptions of each fallen soldier are read.
Unit, Marines, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Expeditionary Force.
And respects are paid.
2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2.
Other families like Barnett gathered to honor their loved one's light, while local first responders showed their support, united by a shared mission.
I just never want to forget those that gave their life for our freedom, and to remember those that are still here living with that memory.
These ladies with the Cabot Cruiser Run team began this morning.
And we started in Pottsville and ran a little over 17 miles.
That course took them and others across central Arkansas, always stopping at each mile marker.
You will not be forgotten.
Their final stop towards the Capitol.
I think it's every American's duty, to remember these that gave their freedoms for us.
As runners come together as one, families do as well. That's what Mr. and Mrs. Beason envisioned for the program all but 13 years ago.
We owe it to these families to remember what they gave for us.
A ceremony in front of the Gold Star Families Memorial allowed everyone to hear the stories and names of those who have fallen.
John W. Brown, Lauren M. Buffalo.
And with the final goodbye, their name will live on forever.
I'm able to tell you stories about him. I'm able to talk to you about him, to keep his memory, his sacrifice out there.
And there will be another run next year, as officials tell me they hope to have even more participation. And check this out, you don't have to be a member of the military to take part. For THV 11 News, I'm Maya Ellison.
Thank you, Maya. Tonight in Pine Bluff, victims of homicide and other types of violence were remembered today with a vigil. One group at the vigil, called the Voices of Pain, meet the first Tuesday of each month, allowing parents to talk about their grief and how losing a loved one has impacted them. But today's vigil looked to go a step further, serving as another reminder that nobody has to go through the fight alone.
We care about your grief, so we just want to embrace you with your grief, telling you we are there for you and shower you with our empathy. And we do care. From the police department to the city officials to the community, we want to share their pain.
Deputy Chief Warrior says she is urging everyone to put the guns down so they can help build a safe community. Let's bring in meteorologist Simone Thomas now. Simone, I know we had some severe weather pass through parts of the state tonight. Are we in the clear now for the rest of the night?
I think it's safe to say we are in the clear. The National Weather Service office did cancel the severe thunderstorm watch for all of the counties in our coverage area early. There is still that watch in effect for Ashley and Chico County, but that's kind of in the coverage area of the Jackson, Mississippi National Weather Service office. That front that we've been seeing the storms develop ahead of is almost south out of the state. As we zoom in, you'll see that it's still kind of moving through southeast Arkansas. Just ahead of that is Ashley and Chico counties, where we do still have one severe thunderstorm warning left. That is still just producing the hail and the wind gusts, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. As you saw just a second ago, we have still a number of severe thunderstorm watches extending from Texas, Louisiana, into Mississippi. So as that front moves further south, creating more issues for them through the night. But as we continue through the night, we're actually going to have an area of high pressure move through. But I want to bring this to your attention. We usually don't show current conditions this late at night, but I want to show you that dry air that's moving in behind that cold front. This front not making the biggest difference with temperatures, but it is drying out that air. So dew points in the 30s and even some 20s. 22 is the dew point in Mena right now. 35 is that dew point in Fayetteville versus a dew point of 62 in Monticello. So the air is a lot drier as we get into tomorrow, but we're expecting a lot of sunshine. And the good news is with that high pressure, winds won't be super gusty, which helps to limit the fire concerns even with that dry air. But we're going to see highs climb to the middle and upper 70s tomorrow. Your 11-day outlook is coming up in a few, so make sure you stick around.
Thanks, Simone. Even with the rain some of us had today, the risk of wildfire danger is still here. This is a look at which counties are under a burn ban and which ones are at high risk of wildfire danger. And as you can see, there is a lot of orange on this map with more than 60 counties still under a burn ban. Beyond the fires, the winds themselves left plenty of damage across the state, enough to send many rushing to make roof repairs. Both roofers and insurance companies have been getting a bunch of service calls over the last week due to things like missing shingles or downed trees. And they say if you've experienced things like that, you should give them a call before the heart of severe weather season arrives, because even only a few missing shingles can cause major problems.
You know, the asphalt shingles are made for water to run down. You know, once you're missing any one of the components from an asphalt shingle roof, you're going to get water in your house at some point, and that's going to lead to more damage, interior damage, and more expensive repairs.
But before you make that potentially frustrating call to your insurance company, check your policy. It will give you a better idea of ways you might get them to increase or reconsider a roof repair claim. A Conway County Sheriff's deputy has been charged with rape and sexually assaulting a child. The Sheriff's Office says once they were first made aware of the incident, the deputy, Joseph Taylor Dube, was immediately placed on leave while they investigated. During that process, however, Dube decided to retire, but it wasn't until yesterday that he was arrested. The Sheriff's Office says the victim's family reached back out with more information on another allegation of sexual contact between Dube and the minor who was a family friend. The deputy now sits behind bars and has been fired from the Sheriff's Office. And an update into the homicide investigation in Little Rock we told you about earlier. Just within the last hour, police have announced they're now looking for this man, Tony Smith Jr., who they say is wanted for capital murder. Around 1:40 this afternoon, they were called to the 10,000 block of Sibley Hole Road, and once they got there, they found a man who had been shot dead. If you know where Smith may be tonight, you're asked to call police at the number on your screen. And the Garland County Sheriff's Office asking for your help to find this man. Authorities say he has disabilities and was last seen in the area of Hamilton Dairy Road on Tuesday. If you know where he may be tonight, you're asked to call the Garland County Sheriff's Office. At the state capitol earlier this week, lawmakers voted to set aside the money to build a huge new prison in Franklin County. A joint budget committee approved an appropriation of $750 million. According to its sponsor, State Senator Jonathan Dismang, SB 354 is just a first step in advancing the construction of the 3,000-bed facility. Getting here faced resistance from skeptical lawmakers who say the amount won't be enough to build it. There is also strong opposition from would-be neighbors. But Senate President Bart Hester emphasized what he calls the necessity of the new prison.
The way this project has been done to date, that we will spend mega millions and we'll find out we need more money.
I struggle to think, what if we don't build this prison? What is the cost to society? What are the costs to the people? How do we answer to the people at home when there's no misdemeanor justice?
An attempt to allocate money for the project failed 2 weeks ago. Consultants hired by the Department of Corrections and the Sanders administration followed with a new cost estimate of $825 million. $75 million has already been approved. A vote in both the House and the Senate will likely come after spring break. Meanwhile, here's a look at some of the laws Governor Sanders signed into law before the mid-session break, starting with House Bill 1610. It will clear up the rules for when a mother is in danger and an abortion is warranted. House Bill 1609, meanwhile, will increase the penalty for anyone who recruits a kid into sex trafficking from places where they're at risk. Senate Bill 317 will prohibit an institution of higher education from participating in certain activities with prohibited foreign parties. And finally, Senate Bill 304 2024 is focused on voting. It will allow your vote to count if you move to a new county, as long as you get updated registration to your new clerk before polls close on Election Day. The deadline used to be 4 days. What started as a bad case of bronchitis spiraled into double pneumonia and more than 5 weeks in the hospital. That whole time, we, the general public, never saw Pope Francis in person. But today, that changed. CBS's Chris Livesay has more on the Pope's return home.
From the balcony of Rome's Gemelli Hospital, it was a long-awaited hello. A sigh of relief after what became the longest hospital stay in his papacy could very well have ended in goodbye. Thank you to everyone, the Pope said with a frail voice, and found time to compliment a woman with yellow flowers.
Well, it's a remarkable moment, one that many feared would never come. But after more than 5 weeks in the hospital and narrowly escaping death, Pope Francis is finally on his way home.
The Pope made his hard-won exit in a trademark low-key papal white Fiat, waving from the window. We could see nasal tubes for the oxygen therapy he continues to receive, a reminder that he may be out of the hospital, but not out of the woods. His doctors say he'll still need 2 months to recover back at the Vatican, meaning no mingling with large crowds, a big ask for a man known as the People's Pope. For weeks, the faithful gathered every night in St. Peter's Square to pray the rosary. Among them were these nuns from Poland and Kenya.
You know, it's a wonderful moment. It's very moving, very moving.
It's a moment we didn't know if we would ever see.
It seems that God listens to the prayers of the whole church.
Today, both his voice and his body reflected the toll of double pneumonia. But his spirit, his doctors said, remains unscathed. After one of his darkest moments, Francis joked, "I'm still alive." That's when we knew he was well.
Chris Livesay, CBS News, Rome.
President Donald Trump's tariffs affecting our neighbors to the north, as new Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is calling a snap election for April 28th, saying he needed a strong mandate to deal with the threat that the tariffs pose to the economy.
We are facing the most significant crisis of our lifetimes because of President Trump's unjustified trade actions and his threats to our sovereignty. President Trump claims that Canada isn't a real country. He wants to break us so America can own us. We will not let that happen.
Although the next election was not due until October 20th, Carney is hoping to capitalize on a remarkable recovery by his Liberal Party in the polls since January, when Trump began threatening Canada and former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation. Grocery prices continue to rise, and now it's affecting more than just consumers. After the break, hear how companies are being impacted and what it could mean for your next time you hit the checkout lane.
Well, the good news is we've got some sunshine and mild temperatures to start this work week. The bad news is we didn't get a lot of rain, and we won't for a couple of days. I'll tell you how soon you can expect the rain again right after the break.